Hey everybody, and welcome to another action-packed edition of the OverMark podcast. We're your hosts, TJ and Dave. We'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us. Like always, we're going to be talking about SmackDown. Usually on Sunday we might have another pay-per-view tabbed in, but it's always SmackDown and usually Collision on Sunday too, but not this week because they had it on Wednesday, right, Dave?
What?
And
yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, and that 4-hour thing. So
so we covered that on Thursday. You guys go back and listen to that after you listen to this if you haven't.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's tried and true. They don't change Friday and SmackDown, do they? So
nope. Thank God.
It was on June. Well, I wish they changed the third hour, but it was on June 13th, 2025, and the news wrestler said what, and a new segment that we're going to have too, that we're going to have at the end. So follow us on all our social medias at OverMark ENT. It's all the same shit that we fucking spew to every week. We appreciate you for liking, subscribing, doing whatever you're doing to help us out. And we're going to jump on into it. So it was at the Rupp Arena, SmackDown was, in Lexington, Kentucky. They had an attendance of 12,597, and it was a sellout per the broadcast, and it sure looked like it. That shit was packed.
Yeah, and it sounded like it too.
Yeah, it was an awesome crowd, man. They were packed. It's funny, because they started off with Cena, right? So
yep.
I thought, like I told you, I thought the crowd was going to suck because they didn't give him that good of a reaction. But what was it? Punk came out right after. Then
Punk was later.
Who came out right after Cena? Cody, that's right. Yeah, they gave him a huge fucking reaction. So right then I knew, like, oh, I think we're going to be pretty good today. Like they gave like Cody like the top guy reaction,
Oh yeah, it was big.
So it's good to see that they haven't turned on Cody everywhere. So John Cena enters to a mixed crowd reaction to cheers and boos. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Chants echo as Cena calls for his music to be cut. He points to the ring announcer, Mark Nash, who introduces him as the greatest of all time. The never seen 17, gracing Lexington with his presence one last time. He is the last real champion, John Cena.
He's getting really good at that intro, by the way. He's really, really putting it in there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He's pretty good in general. He kind of sounds like a Temu Justin Roberts, but some of the stuff he does pretty well. So some of the highlights for the promo were him talking about Mount Rushmore was John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, and John Cena. Says there's been great wrestlers and talkers, but none compare to him, past, present, or future. You can't see him. You all want to be him. Claims he was always 1,000 steps ahead and won right now a year ago. Reveals he scouted everyone starting last year in the Rumble, the Chamber. Predicted Punk and Rollins would implode. Exploited Cody's obsession with love, used Randy Orton's 25-year rivalry, put Truth in the main event, scene debate everybody, sided with Logan Paul to take out his competition there, and now he's hurt, so he can't fuck with him. Targeted CM Punk. Fans started chanting for Punk, and Cena says that Punk must admit that he's a hypocrite if he wants to win. Claims Seth will never cash in because he wants Cena to leave with the title and be the only other champion. He's the greatest of all time for a reason. The crowd boos, as Cena says, while you've been busy creating fake stories to see if my sold my soul. I use math in my favor. I win matches before they even start. In 25 years, I've cracked every code. You realize how good I am 3 years after I'm gone. This is the greatest moment of your life. The fans are just a mathematical equation, and math says that there will never be anyone worthy enough to hold the right to hold his title again.
Decent promo so far.
It was okay. I mean, again, it's just I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's really all that into it. Like, he's trying, and it's not bad stuff, but I don't know. He's just not knocking it out of the park. Sometimes he is.
Right, it feels like he's acting like a heel, not that he is a heel. Right.
Yeah. So Cody Rhodes comes out. Music hits, and he enters to a loud chants of Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. Yeah, he got a big pop. Says Cena just said he is smart, not just smart, a genius. Acknowledges that everything Cena said has come to fruition. Adds, but here I am, the variable you didn't plan for. why didn't you include this Saturday when you were looking at the lights and I pin you? Calls him John Rushmore and asks, where does that leave us? Randy Orton joins the ring. His music hits. He gets a loud, pretty big pop too. Declares everyone saw he had him beat. Says he will do whatever it takes to get to number 15. Tells Cody, I love you like a brother, but I won't hesitate to take you down to get to Cena. He'll take him out in a heartbeat, is what he said, I think. He said it a couple different ways, but LA Knight interrupts. He gets a huge pop. His was either bigger than Cody's or just as big. Cody's was probably more sustained, but LA Knight gets some of the biggest pops fucking every time, man.
Oh, yeah. This dude's super over.
Yeah. Let me talk to you. Says that all week long. I heard the world say that they want LA Knight. I know what the fans want. I know what the three guys in the ring don't want, and that's me walking down to this ring. Calls himself the source thumb. Says that he likes it that way. Cena got this master plan, but I know your plans didn't include me. Yeah. Eyes King in the ring as a shot. I've got to drop a Viper, a Nightmare, and a Genius, balding bitch John Cena to be WWE champion, with everyone saying L.A. Knight. Yeah. R-Truth comes in after they all kind of like disperse and attacks him, Cena from behind. So after that, Cena leaves the ring and then walks to the back, but that happens a couple times throughout the show. I think I read that in reverse, but whenever security rushes in to break up the brawl, it was cool, seeing Truth come out here and be on the show, and they obviously know that they got plans for him because people want to see him, right?
Yeah. Seems like a way.
Yeah, it does. But that was overall a pretty good segment, good starter to start off the show. One of the better starts they probably had to SmackDown in a really long time.
Yeah, this week and last week they came pretty strong with the SmackDown openers. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. You did too?
Hell yeah, I did.
Well, hell yeah, then.
Then there was a little bit more than that. There was something that happened backstage afterwards. Here it looks like they went to a commercial and came back, and then John Cena was shown backstage in a heated argument with Nick Aldis that you couldn't see, and his hat's on backwards. And you could just see he's yelling at him and pissed off.
Yeah.
So obviously something's going to happen at some point, but what? Who knows?
Yeah, we shall see. He was all pissed. You could see at least him saying, like, I'm the champ. That's the only thing I could lip sync or whatever the fuck it is. Read his lips, but go on ahead.
Yeah, so then we got the King of the Ring qualifying match with Orton, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black. And I don't know if you guys have noticed in the last few episodes or not, but we're not doing this move-by-move breakdown stuff anymore. Nobody really wants to listen to that, and we don't really want to do that. Nobody wants to listen to that shit. But, they had a fairly competitive, chaotic, high-energy match. LA Knight stood out with a strong crowd support, and he got a lot of near falls. We ended up getting some outside interference from Bronson Reed and Braun Breakers, and my two Brons out there derailing Knight's momentum and fucking him over so that he can't win. And Randy Orton took advantage of the distraction to secure the win and advance into the tournament. So obviously your winner of this match is Randy Orton. These fatal 4-way matches I don't find that I like as much as the Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying matches. Traditionally TJ and I are hating on these multi-person matches, and then the Money in the Bank qualifiers kind of went the opposite of what they normally do, and we kind of liked those, but I don't know about these ones. It's a bit much with the 4 guys. But obviously they couldn't just do triple threats because they just did like 3 weeks of triple threats, so they had to do something different. I don't know. Decent enough match, fill the time. Nobody did anything terribly embarrassing. Storylines were advanced on multiple fronts. What did you think of the match, TJ?
I don't know. This whole King of the Ring thing is kind of strange to me. They didn't have like a qualifier to get into the semifinals or whatever. It was always like singles, right? And they used to have almost the whole thing at the pay-per-view. What's wrong with that? I feel like that would make this whole thing way more prestigious. It's an easy sell for a fucking pay-per-view, but instead they want to I don't know. This was a good match. Like it wasn't bad. I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect. The crowd was really into it, but I just feel like they should have stuck with the traditional format of the singles matches advancing into the tournament, as opposed to starting it off like that.
I guess maybe they have a lot more talent now, so it's harder to do a tournament in one night on a PLE, especially with the PLEs only being 2.5 hours now.
They did it the same way back in the day. Not everybody has to be involved. Make the bracket the same size and just have a fucking illustrious tournament.
Yeah. I think probably one of the reasons they moved away from it, and this is just me guessing, I might have heard this years back, but they didn't want the guys working multiple times in one night. Yeah, just furthers the risk of injury.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, dude. Yeah, but overall, not a bad match. And Jacob Fatu did his in-ring promo next. He knows the arena, gets on the mic, keep it 100. So just because you're family, it doesn't mean that you can go behind their back and try to snake them. Just because they both come from the same bloodline does not mean he can take all the credit for his hard work. Says Solo told him Fatu will be nothing without him. This is exactly why he reminded Solo at Money in the Bank that when you don't get in where you fit in, declares now it is him against the world, because he is all gas with some breaks. So just a little bit of breaks. No, I'm kidding. Just none. And then you hear some clapping, and it looks up on the fucking big screen, and it's Solo clapping, and he's got Mateo in the background, and you couldn't see Mateo's eyes. They were all darkened from the shot, how they had it.
I think he's wearing sunglasses.
Oh, okay. Well, Solo was seen clapping backstage with JC Mateo standing behind him. Solo says, "Did you get everything off your chest?" He tells Fatu that he can forgive him at Money in the Bank. Reminds Fatu, a year ago when I went to Sacramento to see you, you were doing nothing. In more nothing. No one wanted you around. I brought you around. I made you a superstar. I made you a champion. Solo gets heated and declares, it was all because of me. And now this next week, I will be in the middle of the ring with open arms, willing to take you back. But I need to hear 4 words from you. I love you, Solo. And ends by saying, I brought you into this world and I will take you out. You know what I'm... whatever, he's trying to do the thing that...
I mean, I can't do it either, but yeah.
And then Fatu's reaction back in the ring, Fatu looks angry and now-eyed, confused, and says nothing as his music hits. But, I mean, this wasn't bad. This was obviously the direction they've been going for a while, and we've literally been, before they even started hinting this, me and you knew that this was going to be the direction they were going, and it'll probably be the Summer Slams where they culminate it, but not bad. Good little promo. Jacob's promos are kind of bordering on the same shit every time, and I know everybody's does, but I don't know. Solo.
I mean, yeah, I get you got to get your catchphrases in, but yeah, it's
and he's turning into it real bad, and Solo actually is pretty decent on the mic, man. He's not bad.
Yeah, he's improved quite a bit.
Yeah,
I still am not crazy about him, but he's funny. And
his delivery's great. He's good on the mic, man.
Good timing. Yeah.
His in-ring may not match that yet, but there's definitely improvement that you can tell happening at a pretty quick rate too, I think. So after that, we go to this backstage segment with Nick Aldis and the Secret Service. It's like every time these fucking bitches pop up on the screen, man, it's just like I'm gonna go do the laundry or something, like anything but this. Yeah. Yep. So the Secret Service walk into Nick Aldis's office. Niven opens up a FaceTime with Chelsea Green, who's lounging in a pool. Chelsea tells Aldis that they have to postpone her match, which is the qualifier, so it's not just her match. And Aldis replies, Alba Fire will take her spot, that they don't stop the matches for one person. And Chelsea objects, I don't authorize that. I'm going to filibuster it. And Aldis responds, I authorize it. And then Zelina Vega comes in. And after the Secret Service leaves, Zelina Vega comes in, like I just said. She says, I want Julia. He says, Julia isn't here. But before that, she took the phone out of his hand and turned the volume down. I think it was at 5%, so you could just barely hear Chelsea, and she was talking on the phone the whole time still. But then Vega replies after Aldis says that Julia isn't there, that she is the United States champion, and next week she will confront her face to face. Vega walks out as they cut to the back to the ring, and she's what's her face? Chelsea's still just talking on the phone in the background as it cuts away. But this wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I don't know. There's probably a whole bunch of people that are working way harder than Piper Niven at being a professional wrestler and deserve to make money and be highlighted on television more than she does. I don't know. Is that all you have to add?
Yeah, I mean, get fucking.
Take us on then to this match here.
Oh, geez. Well, we get another fatal four-way, this time Queen of the Ring qualifier match with Jade Cargill, Michin, Nia Jax, and Piper Niven.
Oh, boy.
And the notes here say that this was a physical, hard-hitting match that saw all four women trading momentum in and out of the ring, which did happen. I think the physical and hard-hitting notes are probably more about people not necessarily knowing how to work and just smashing on each other.
Yeah, and somebody sitting on people.
Yeah. And, Nia Jax and Piper Niven briefly ganged up on people, which is just, Jesus Christ. Sounds horrifying. And then Michin delivered a few big moments, but she, nothing crazy. And they had a chaotic final stretch, and Jade outlasted the field and scored the win to advance in the tournament. And man, this is one of those matches where it was just like, couldn't wait for it to be over. And I can't wait for us to be talking about it to be over. What did you think about this match?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Believe it or not.
Michin is probably the best person in it.
Yeah, but it was okay for the people involved, but nothing to write home about and nothing to really linger on too much.
They didn't even have her do the flat back attack.
Yeah, they didn't, but if you want, I don't really have anything to add. Just take us into the next one real quick.
Oh, boy. So from your favorite and mine, that's sarcasm for the folks who can't tell, we get a promo from Naomi. And she's talking about she's missed Money in the Bank. I don't know if you had saw this or not, TJ, or the folks out there in the listening audience, but on Instagram and Twitter, she had posted a video of what she keeps in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And there was like just, caution tape, duct tape, like random like weapons, a taser, a random multi-tool thing that had like pliers and then screwdrivers and knife and shit. Leatherman, that's what they're called. I don't know why that was escaping me. People may not know what a Leatherman is. TJ probably does, But anyway, Naomi's music hits and she comes out and she's got the Money in the Bank briefcase and a big ol' ass. And she's saying, I see a lot of people looking shocked, surprised, and stupid. She says, look what she deserved. And now she stands at Miss Money in the Bank. And she recalls her past struggles against Nia Jax for the women's title. Points out that Tiffany Stratton was there the entire time to distract her and hit her. Too nice. Naomi let it happen, but the new Naomi won't let it slide. Promises that when she hits Tiffy in the head with the briefcase, it's going to feel good. Then Tiffany comes out, of course, and she's super over. The crowd, she got a good pop. She's probably one of the most over women in women's wrestling right now, and for good reason. She's figuring it out, I think, finally. And her music hits. She comes out and she tells Naomi, "You talk a big game, do it. Cash in. Take my title now." And it says that Naomi is still the same Naomi. All talk, no action. That's why you never beat Nia Jax. Challenges Naomi to prove everyone wrong. Naomi responds, "Do I look stupid to you?" Declares she won't cash in now, but she will do it when you least expect it. Of course, that's what they're going to do. That's what heels do. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy making your life hell. And she ends with, "Tick-tock, your time was almost up. Proceed with caution." And, if she keeps talking, I'm going to proceed to the bathroom when she comes out each time for her segments. And then we do get a little bit of a brawl afterwards, though. Naomi exits the ring, and Nia Jax sneak attacks Tiffany from behind. And Tiffany counters and takes Nia down. And Naomi gets on the apron, but Tiffany knocks her off, and then Nia attacks Tiffany from behind and hits her with the Annihilator. And I don't know if she just hates these people or is bad at delivering the move, but it looks like she never takes care of anybody with it. And then Naomi looks like she's going to re-enter the ring to try to do like a cash-in deal, and Nia Jax runs her off. And kind of like Nia Jax is running the rest of us off, I think. Most of that segment was good enough, especially when the Tiffany part. What did you think of all this?
I don't know. Naomi stinks. She just.
Well, I mean, you mean like odor?
No, I mean just like she talks like she's like delivering like she's like in a play or something, and she's rehearsed the shit so much over and over again. It's like it just comes through that like she's just obviously rehearsed it a shit ton and just isn't very good at talking. And I don't know. The segment really wasn't that bad though. Again, considering everybody that was involved, and I agree with you. It looks like Nia Jax is like gonna kill one of these girls one day. But I don't know. Maybe her ass is so big that it's like big cushion or something. But yeah,
I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, me either till just now. It just popped in my head. But yeah, overall, not a bad segment. Yeah, Tiffany is pretty over, and her character, like we said, seems to be changing and being more confident or leaning towards a little bit of a different direction as time goes on. So, and we can go on to the next one here. It was a tag match between the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wyatt Six and Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. So the Wyatt Six attacked before the bell and controlled much of the match with an aggressive, methodical style. MCMG fired back with a fast-paced offense and teamwork, but the eerie presence of Uncle Howdy distracted Lumis mid-match. Despite that, Lumis refocused and secured the pin, giving Wyatt Six another dominant win. I don't know. Motor City Machine Guns look like chumps here. The Wyatts look like fucking clowns. I don't really understand why, like, when they're all happy and stuff like that after the match, like hugging each other and like celebrating like a pair of clowns or a group of clowns. Normally like spooky, mysterious people don't really do that, Not really sure what's going on here. They all look like shit, and I have no interest in this, and I really wish that they wouldn't have brought these guys back, and it literally has nowhere to go, and this isn't going to make the tag division any better, and it's just overall a complete void of interest, and I don't know. You don't need to ever really show this again, and it sucks that we're going to have to keep sitting through it.
That's a accurate description. I really couldn't have described it any better, to be honest with you. That's a...
Well, I'll describe this next thing a little bit, and you can get the next one after that.
Sounds good to me.
So, backstage, Cena confronts Jimmy Uso, and he asks, "Have you seen R-Truth?" And he says it like a robot. It's fucking weird. He's like, "Have you seen R-Truth?" And Jimmy replies that he haven't. And he said, "Have you seen Ron Killings?" He's like, "No." And Cena tells Jimmy, "I know he's close. Tell him I'm going to the ring right now." So John Cena calls out R-Truth. Music hits, storms out of the ring, tells the fans to shut their mouth, says that there's a level of disrespect that he can tolerate, but R-Truth crossed the line. Fans chant, "We want truth." And Cena replies, "For once I agree with you," declares there's a time to talk and a time to fight, and calls Truth out to fight. CM Punk interrupts. Punk's music hits, Cena looks surprised, Punk enters smiling, grabs a mic, sits on the top rope. I don't know how he did that. Fans chant CM Punk. Punk, "Is it great to be alive on a Friday night in Lexington, Kentucky, or what?" Steps down and asks Cena if he heard something about respect. "The people are tired of being disrespected, but now I've got a microphone and we have yet to begin to reach the levels of disrespect that we are capable of." Offers Cena a chance out. "Maybe my empathy is too much. Maybe I'm too much." Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Darth Vader, looking for Anakin, says he'll give Cena a chance to stop what you're doing to give the fans a happy ending. Cena responds, "Why would I waste my time?" Says that these people don't matter, this place doesn't matter, basketball doesn't matter, horse racing doesn't matter, the WWE title is the only thing that matters. CM Punk fires back, "Let the record state that CM Punk and Lexington gave him an out, but the disrespect begins. Ironically enough, your way is my way. Says when his music hits, everyone knows it's about to get real. And ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get real. There's an old saying, you tell a strong man a lie and offend him. That's why it hurts you. When I call you a hypocrite, you tell a weak man the truth, and that offends him. Fans chant, we want truth again. Punk, the truth is you can't beat me. When you were at your best, you never could. Now you will say that you're going to ruin wrestling, but I'll save it. It's my confidence that brought me to the mountaintop. When people, like you said, I didn't have it, but I won't walk out into the sold-out arena dressed like a toddler who struck out at T-ball. Fans laugh, Punk jokes. I'd like that erased now because I sound like PG John Cena, which is ironic because you sound like CM Punk. Accused of Cena stealing his material. You won the title, left with the title. You're trying to follow in my footsteps, but I did it and you couldn't stop me. Says challenging him at Night of Champions won't stop me. Just like old times, I'm here to make your title run interesting. Hell, I'm here to make you interesting. I'll follow you to Mars to beat your ass. I'll follow you to hell to prove that I'm better than you. You're the GOAT, so am I. You're the GOAT, and that I will spit roast. I beat you in your hometown. I beat you in my hometown. I beat you at Night of Champions. Terry Funk, Harley Race, Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero. They belong on Mount Rushmore. The audacity to put yourself on that list 4 times. I see through you. I always have, and that's the truth. Punk shoulder shrugs Cena, bumps him as he walks by, leaving the ring, and his music hits. Yeah. Cena sits there for a while. Punk kind of looks at him a little bit as he's walking out. Truth ambushes Cena from behind, looks at STF on him. Punk watches and says, the truth hurts. WWE officials and security rush down to separate him. It was a good segment. Punk was awesome on the mic. Cena did all right. And I don't know. I know you liked it. It was some good shit.
Yeah, it was one of the better promo segments they've had on SmackDown in a while. And when I can't remember when the last time we saw CM Punk on SmackDown was, so this was cool.
Yeah, it was.
And they got they covered a lot of ground in this promo, so that was really, really good. Punk's always going to do a good job, and Punk and Cena together is one of those things. I keep seeing all the memes that it's like my childhood, and it's showing Punk and Cena back in 2011. Both of them have the belt when Punk first came back with Cult of Personality music and all that stuff.
Well, I'm glad that
they had
the people a little bit younger than us can really enjoy this because it's not going to happen anymore.
I was already an adult then, but that was one of the highlights of the WWE at the time. The rest of it was not so great. So this is a really cool nostalgic thing for anybody that was watching at the time back then, and even if you weren't, it's a cool thing for people now because you get to see 2 dudes that are able to do it at a high level. And with that, we're gonna move on to the next thing, which is another Queen of the Ring match. Every match tonight is a qualifying match, in case y'all haven't figured it out. We got Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Alba Fire, and Candice LeRae. Woohoo. Oh, boy. But, they had a fast-paced match. It was a quote-unquote high stakes because the winner is going to go advance in the Queen of the Ring tournament. They had Charlotte look fairly dominant, and Alexa Bliss fought from the underneath to build momentum as the match wore on. The action ended up escalating with chaotic multi-women spots and constant momentum shifts. And in the end, Alexa Bliss managed to score the victory while Charlotte Flair had the other girl in her submission move, and she managed to score the win right before the other girl tapped out to Charlotte's finishing move. And then Alexa and Charlotte had like a stare down at the end here before they went to the break, and they're building something with her and Charlotte at some point. I don't know if they're going to end up becoming friends or if they're going to end up becoming, rivals or what the deal here is, but obviously something. Maybe she'll come fuck her over later in the tournament. Who knows? But the match was okay. I can kind of do without Alba Fire, and Candice LeRae is great and everything, but I could do without her also. I know she just came back, or maybe she had been there, but they just started using her again. I don't know. I know she's married to old Gargano, and now she's in the group with them. So I don't know. But yeah, what did you think of all this?
Sorry, I'm sitting here eating, but so
Oh yeah, eat on the air. That's actually a poor show etiquette thing.
I know,
but it's something that I would encourage us to do, because we're not a professional broadcast. And honestly, if I had a sandwich here, I would eat it myself right now. That's just me filling time for you to finish eating. By the way, that's pretty smooth.
So
Hell yeah.
Core picked up the food, and it's just like, well, it's got to happen now because here it is.
I mean, eat it while it's fucking fresh. I would do the same thing.
But anyways, I think they're probably going to have the SummerSlam match between Bliss and Flair because it seems like Charlotte's not winning anything anymore, so they got to have something to do for her, or she wouldn't have came back. She's just not going to continually lose everything. She's got to be in some kind of program. But yeah, Alba Fire's just kind of there. I don't know. Candice LeRae's kind of there. It was an all right match. We'll see how, like you said, Charlotte Flair's probably going to fuck Bliss over later, but we shall see, right?
Yes, we shall.
Excuse me. So after that, it goes to backstage with Cody and CM Punk. Cody sees Punk backstage. We can't run away from each other forever. Punk replies, I know that. Good luck tonight. After Night of Champions, we'll see who chases who. King of the Ring match. Cody, Rhodes, Shinsuke, Nakamura, Andrade, Damon Priest. Man, they love to describe all these the same way. The hard-hitting and unpredictable match featured constant momentum shifts and big risks from all four men. Each competitor had standout moments with Andrade and Nakamura, especially pushing the pace. Cody Rhodes endured heavy offense and battled through a brutal table spot in the final stretch. He outmaneuvered Nakamura and sealed the victory to advance in the tournament. Winner, Cody Rhodes. Yeah, this is actually a good match. You knew Nakamura wasn't winning and Andrade wasn't, and Damon Priest maybe, but overall, like Cody's in there, he's winning. We'll see how that goes. He'll probably be in the finals. Hard to tell. What'd you think?
That's a good enough match. I didn't offend me or anything. It was nice to see some of the dudes out there being like Andrade. I'm not crazy about his entrance though. The on the Tron, it's got the big guy behind him that keeps acting like he's taking the mask off, and it's like, well, dude, he only takes the mask off one time. Why is there a giant guy behind you on the Tron acting like he's taking the mask off every like 15 seconds?
Because that's all they got for him.
I know that's such a stupid thing to be critical of, but it shows a lack of thought when it comes to his production, I think, to your point that you just made.
Yeah. I agree.
He deserves better than that.
Yes, he does.
I wonder if it's awkward with him and Charlotte backstage, being that they just got divorced and they're on the same show because, they brought him in, they put them both on the same show because they were married.
Nah, Andrade's probably like, man, I bet he doesn't talk to her, and she's probably not talking to him, or who knows, he might say, hey, maybe they're, amicably split and they're professional and all that, because I'm sure if it was really that big a deal, she has enough stroke that he wouldn't be there.
Right.
Now, they had these problems before he signed back, I'm sure. But yeah, it was a decent episode of SmackDown.
Not the greatest. I think last week was better, but it was still good enough.
The good stuff was good. The main event shit around the belt.
Yeah, the main event shit, the promo stuff.
Yeah.
Even the Naomi promo stuff wasn't the best, but there were still some bright points in there. So better than average episode, like a C+, something like that.
Yeah, and it's like these dates are ticking down on Cena fast. What's he down to? Like 17?
16 now. I think 17 was was SmackDown.
Yeah. Man, that's
flying through them.
And you got to think, like, they're going to do the weekly shows and the pay-per-views, and so like there're going to be some weeks where it's going to have like, or like months where he's got like 2 shows he's going to do a week, and they're going to go quick.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think we're halfway through June, and June is halfway through the year. So I mean, we're more than halfway through the end of John Cena's run. which has been largely uneventful and disappointing thus far. But
it's had a couple good spots in there. Usually the promo battles he's having with the guys.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. With Orton involving himself last night and things of that nature.
6 out of 10.
A lot of. What's up?
6 out of 10.
That's not bad. Out of what?
10.
Okay. So with that, we're gonna go to a segment here.
Wrestling news.
we got the news, and not a lot of news today because kind of breaking. This did happen last night. Thankfully, there were no breaks in the news for anybody that was involved in the news, so that's good. But we have Miss Priscilla Kelly returning to wrestling. Some of y'all may know her as the former Gigi Dolan from the WWE, and she returned yesterday, June 14th, at wrestling's Revolver's Cage of Horrors event. Not cages, single cage, not multiple cage. Her first post WWE match was against Zachary Wentz, which she's getting in an intergender match here. For folks that are not in the know, and I should have included this in the notes for TJ's benefit in case he was the one reading this, that's her significant other, her boyfriend. So, if anybody's going to take care of her in an intergender match, you would think it's going to be the guy that's her boyfriend. But the bout was stopped early due to an apparent injury. I saw the highlight of it. He just gave her like a kind of a leg kick. It seemed fairly mundane, and she went right down, and she was pretty hurt. She managed to get up and walk out under her own power and everything, but she was down for a couple minutes on the mat, and it looked a lot more serious than what it ended up being, thankfully. And she ended up posting on social media to clarify the situation and let everybody know what the deal is and that she is okay. She says, "My patella came out of place. It does that from time to time. It's an anatomy issue I've had my entire life, or my whole life. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess her quote up. And I've managed to always work through it, even sometimes continuing matches after it happens. It's not an injury. It just hurts a good bit, and I have to pop it back in place. Now you know. Sorry, guys." So she emphasized that this wasn't a serious industry injury, and she intends on continuing to wrestle. She's got another match. I didn't get it in here, but I think it's on like the 22nd. Yeah, next week, 21st or 22nd. So she'll be wrestling again in a week. So that's pretty tough though, popping your kneecap out and popping it back in and then wrestling a week later. But good for her. People, you've got a little bit of highlight information here about her. Folks may not know. She was part of the Toxic Attraction on NXT, the 2-time women's tag team champions. They were fairly over there, so it was kind of surprising when she was released. She reassured the fans that she'll make it up to them, signaling that her indie run is just getting started. Did you get to catch much, if any of her stuff at all, TJ? You familiar with?
I think I just saw one of those NXT pay-per-views or PLEs that we watched together, and that was right before they got rid of her.
Well, you would have saw her. She wrestled a couple of times in AEW before she was signed in WWE under the Priscilla Kelly name.
I have no clue.
Okay, well, you know what? That's okay. And we'll move on to the next segment here in the news. Why don't you tell us what's going on with the next update?
Okay, and do me a favor while I'm talking here. I looked it up too, but pull up like her match history.
Who's that?
Shida. So like the last dates that she's been on and all that shit. So Hikaru Shida has been off AEW TV since November 2024. She's currently in Japan renewing her U.S. visa, and on a recent YouTube live stream, she addressed her absence, saying, "I really hope to return soon. Visa issues, especially nowadays, it's getting hard. AEW has so many wrestlers and lawyers. I have to do so many things. I know it takes time. I hope I can go back to AEW soon. For now, I'm enjoying my stay in Japan and getting more energy to wrestle in the U.S. again. I'm looking forward to my comeback. Please wait, and I'm so glad if you support me." She remains active in Japan during her AEW hiatus. No return date is confirmed. Fun fact, Kenny Omega is currently cat sitting for her. Did you say that in the YouTube live stream? Excuse me, I keep
no, that
burping
was just
over here.
something that I added in because he's been taking care of her cat that she has stateside since she can't get back to take care of it herself.
Well, I'm sure he does a good job. He remember he took care of Larry in the backstage thing, so he's a pet guy.
He likes animals. Yeah,
well, who doesn't? You know. But anyways, it's kind of weird because this isn't like a new thing. Excuse me. So, she's.
Yeah, I mean, she wrestled. It looks like 15 matches all of 2024
in AEW.
It doesn't say in here. Let's see here.
But yeah, she's disappeared like a lot, throughout the year. So the last time that she was on Dynamite in AEW in general, it was like that we just said, it was in November. It was November 20th, 2024, and she wrestled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 times for AEW in 2024.
Okay,
sorry. It was more than that. 13, 14, 15. So 15 times for AEW in 2024. And then she wrestled.
So that website was right. Good job. AEWresults.com, by the way. Shout out.
So, and then she wrestled 2 times for ROH, I believe, that year as well. So, that's a little bit more than I remember, but that's not too bad. But there was a big break in between that. So the last time that she wrestled, so in 2024, she wrestled in 2023 in December, and then there was a big break from December to March of 2024. So what's that? Like a 3-4 month break. And then she goes from March to October of 2024. So, I mean, that's a pretty big break that year, right? And then she just worked essentially almost all those matches from October to November, were the matches that she had. So she got most of them in that period. I don't know. This might actually be somewhat incorrect, so don't quote me completely on that, because this thing doesn't actually seem to have them in like alphabetical, or not alphabetical, but chronological order. But all we do know is that she didn't wrestle a lot that year. She was actually the first woman to get to 100 wins, I believe. Remember, they gave her that trophy for that. But
and then she feuded with somebody else. And then the trophy got broke. The trophies always get broken in wrestling.
Yeah, she wrestled a lot more in 2023, but there also was a big break in between 2022 and 2023 of about 3 months that she did, and later in the year there was another one again in between December of 23 to 2024. So it wasn't as frequent as I remember, but she has had just issues where she just disappears here and there. And it's been more frequent as of late. And it's just funny, people are blaming it on the current political climate. And that may or may not be the case. I don't know if that's made anything any harder. But I just know
could be part of it.
Yeah, I just know that it was kind of going on before that. And we don't need to hammer on this too much more. But overall, I'm sure she'll be over here soon. And there actually seems like a lot of talent in AEW that have had problems with visas throughout the years. And I don't know.
Weird.
WWE doesn't really seem to have this problem. Not to make it like a company versus company thing, but you got to have somebody on top of that shit. And if you want your people to be over here that you're paying, you should really have somebody that's good at that stuff and make sure that it's not a problem, right?
Yep, good immigration and whatever the fuck lawyer. I don't know.
Think of it like this: WWE has more UFC, which is another part of TKO, which also owns WWE. I think they have like 900 some fighters under contract right now, which is way more talent than WWE has, right? And a lot of them are foreign talents, and all of them have their visas. So something's up there.
Right there. They're doing the thing.
Yeah. So take us on to the next one if you don't have anything to add.
Well, that's been the news. And now we're gonna move on to a new segment that we added last episode that we're gonna keep rolling. We may not be in every episode, but it made it back into today's, and that's the wrestlers say what.
What?
Yeah, that's right. And Devon Dudley said what to this week, and he shared some insight on the value of a WWE Legends deal in his recent YouTube video on his channel. He revealed that he and Bubba Ray Dudley signed their Legend contracts 2 or 3 years ago and expressed how the wrestling landscape has changed since the 80s and 90s when post-career opportunities were fairly limited for guys that had aged out of the ring. He praised the modern system that allows former talents to continue earning by licensing their talent or their likenesses. Vince would have just found a way to fuck you over back in the day, and these guys used to definitely not get paid on their likeness. And he would just keep right on using their shit. And then eventually he got sued. And, here we are in the modern era, though, which is great. And Devon goes on to say, there's something called a Legends contract or Legends deal. I'm proud to say that Bubba and I signed ours 2 or 3 years ago. It has been a great opportunity. Back in the 80s or 90s, once you were done, that was it. There were no deals like this to keep earning. Times have changed, and I'm glad that I've adapted with them. WWE uses Legends likenesses for merchandise to action figures, video games, and more. Devon noted that the financial benefits are significant, with royalty checks sometimes over $30,000 to $40,000, saying that he's very content with how it's all going. What did you think of all that, and what do you think of being able to earn $30,000 to $40,000 a year just for them using your likeness and putting you on like T-shirts and video games, and you get a little bit of that action too?
So
that ain't bad.
I don't know if it's 30, 40K for everybody. It
Probably
it might depend on how much merch you sell, and the Dudley boys probably got to be like selling an okay little amount of merch. They were super popular back in the Attitude Era. If Dean Malenko signed a WWE Legends deal, would he get as much money?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. But that's just a guess. I don't know how that shit's structured. But I think it's really cool for the guys to keep, that's more than some people make a year. So if they were really struggling and falling on hard times, they could make stuff work if they really wanted to. And that's good, because I remember back in the day, Scott Steiner was really critical of these contracts. And he had mentioned that a lawyer said that they're not worth the paper that they're printed on. And I guess that was essentially him just saying that they're not worth anything, and it was just them retaining your name to use your likeness on video games and merch. When you go to Walmart, Target, all those different stores that sell these action figures and WWE merchandise, they're selling more of it than ever on these toy aisles. They take up like a large chunk of some of these aisles, right?
Oh yeah,
they didn't.
I was in there the other day looking at mine. Brandon always goes in and shows us his,
Yeah.
and they're always loaded to the gills. And I go to mine, and it's always Florida's a big wrestling area, but yeah, my shit's always empty. There's always a big old section for it, but it's always picked clean.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, because when we were kids, like they've been selling figures since we've been, before we've been alive, but it's slowly grown and grown and grown. And they just had a small section when we were kids, probably like a 4x4, right? And that was all the action figures you got. Well, now today, they got like, times 20 of that, maybe even more.
It's like a quarter of the aisle.
Yeah. And you see Devon, you see Bubba on it, you see the NWO, you see these guys that all have these legend deals, and that's why you're seeing all these things, because this shit didn't exist back in the day, and now it does, and these guys are actually getting like something out of this, and it's good, and way to go. It's better than it used to be, and nothing bad to say about that, right?
Yeah, and we get something out of it as fans too. Shit to buy.
Yeah, and occasionally we see them on like Bubba was on NXT doing that stuff, and Devon, I think, is a producer in the back too, right?
Yep, he's been working in the back for a few years now.
Apparently, they're all really happy with what he's doing. He'll probably be there doing that for a while. But overall, if you don't have anything to add, that's some good shit, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. And then why don't you tell us who said next?
Well, it's that Mr. Iguana guy. He's all over the place. It was from what was the name of that?
The AAA
I know,
NXT Worlds Collide.
Yeah, that's it. Because AEW had one too, so it like a very similar show. Yeah. In a recent interview with Lincia Directia TV, Mr. Iguana claimed that WWE told him that he would bypass NXT and debut directly on the main roster. He said he was at the Performance Center taking pictures with Shawn Michaels and WWE staff. Allegedly told him, "You're not going to go through NXT, you're heading straight to the main roster." According to Mr. Iguana, WWE cited his shirt sales being the top seller in the company and strong performance in action figures and trading cards. What trading cards? However, the Wrestling
Observer instantly had that shit out.
However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reporting that these public comments earned him immediate backstage heat. The segment was...
Of course.
Well, who's it coming from? Wrestling Observer newsletter?
True. That's true.
There may be truth to this, but maybe fucking not. I mean, that's like me saying that Hunter actually gave him a high five and said, "We appreciate you saying that, bud." Like, he's just fucking guessing. You could guess that would probably get him heat, but nobody fucking told him that. But the segment was later removed from the interview video. Despite this, they told him that they still have interest in using him due to his recent viral attention. It remains unclear if the backstage reaction will alter his trajectory within the company. I don't know. I'm sure he's going to do great. People are really into these comedy gimmicks these days, and this is definitely a pretty unique one. And I'll say that it's not for me, and I don't really give a fuck about Mr. Iguana, but it doesn't have to be for me. And as long as other people get enjoyment out of it, that's the main thing. And I won't try to shit on it too much. I'll just state that when it comes on, unless they do something unique with this guy, I'm not expecting much.
I will say that he is very good at manipulating his little iguana thing, like doing tricks with it, like, kicking it up off of the ring and getting it to land on his shoulder and just sit there. Like, that's pretty good. If I was like a 10-year-old kid and I was seeing this, I'd probably be like, "Oh my God, this shit's amazing. Did you see what he just fucking did with the stuffed iguana?" But as a 43-year-old guy, I'm like, "Oh my God, did you just see what the guy did with the fucking stuffed iguana?" But I see where the appeal is for people, and they're gonna print fucking money with this guy. It's fitting that his colors are green because that's what they're gonna be making a lot of off of this dude's back, even if it's for a short time. That's right, dude. And then so that's it for the wrestlers said section this week, or this episode, maybe not this week. And now we've got a new segment for everybody that we're working on here called Push or Pass. Kind of we talk about a wrestler that is on TV this week, and we talk about if they should push or pass on this person, if it's a waste of TV time, or if they should give them even more TV time or a better storyline. So yeah, why don't you lead us in here, TJ?
All right, brother. So this week's spotlight is going to be none other than the megastar himself, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
And
oh shit.
Yeah. So what'd you think about him, Dave?
Well, I was kind of skeptical about him early on. The catchphrases kind of felt like a throwback.
Everybody was.
To Steve Austin and The Rock. But also, if you're going to model yourself after people, modeling yourself after two of the best all time, not a bad idea. But yeah. But now he's connecting. He's over. Every time he comes out, he's super big pops. And he's delivering in the ring. Push is how I feel.
Yeah. I agree, man. He's got that rare mix of charisma, timing, and he makes even filler segment feel pretty good. He can take maybe something that's crap and turn it into something that's entertaining. If WWE really gets behind him, you're definitely looking at a guy that's believable as a world champion.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the game. LA Knight certified push.
So we'd hit the stamp on the push.
Yeah.
You know that meme where it has a guy sitting there deciding what button to press. So we're doing the push one.
Oh yeah, he's got like the forehead sweat thing. Yeah.
So yeah, he's getting like the biggest fucking like reactions almost every show. I feel like there was a period where it died out a little bit, but it's right back. He's like hands down just getting these crazy reactions every fucking week, and it will be like, you know, I know it's going to be Cody that beats Cena, but like, you know, there's a world where like I think it'd be really fucking badass if it was LA Knight. He deserves it. He's working hard. His body, you know, he's got a great look. His promos are awesome. His in-ring work's good. His connection with the crowd's better than like almost anybody else's. I don't see a world where like if you had him as the world champion and you had him going against like a group like Seth Rollins and them, or some kind of like heel group, where you couldn't like have 6 months of instant entertaining television.
Plus, also think about what it does for him beating Cena.
Yeah, I mean, you make somebody
on his way out. Yeah, literally. You know, Cody's already made it. He's already the top guy. He's already going to be the top guy. Even if LA Knight only had the belt as a transitional guy, you know, for like 6 or 8 weeks, like Jey Uso, just to further some story, he deserves it. It's time. You know, it might not be time right this second. Within the next year and a half, 2 years, if we don't see him with either the world title or the WWE title, it's kind of a shame. Yeah. I like how we both had the same word there for it. That's right.
I mean, it would be though. You know, he earned it, man, and he, you know, they got him on the Slim Jim things for a reason. You know, they like the way he acts and he does his thing, and you know, like we said, we both give him the positive endorsement, and after that, I guess we can move on, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode here. So the next one will be with you Tuesday. We'll be talking about Raw, and maybe we'll have some of the recurring segments. Maybe there'll be some new ones. We're gonna have some news for you. You know, the whole deal that we usually do. Like always, you know, I won't drone on too long like I have been, but thank you for liking. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for listening. Thanks if you toss it out to anybody. Thanks if you shared it. Just anything, you know, and you know, send us a fucking question if you're listening. You know, just interact with us. We'll answer your question. We'll even if you got a suggestion, hey, do something on this, we'll do that too. You know, we're all about it, and that'll be me signing off. And go ahead and get us out of here, Dave.
Yeah, it really means a lot to just attach myself onto what TJ was saying there. We're slowly growing the channel, and from all of the content creators that I followed for a while, we're outpacing what the standard growth is for a lot of channels and things of that. Not that we're like blowing the doors off of this thing or anything, but we're a little bit ahead of where people usually are. And that's a big thanks to everybody that, you know, is specifically subscribed to us already and following us and continuing to like and listen. You know, our listening hours are up there. We're getting up there. I think they were closing in on nearly 400, TJ was saying earlier. So we're doing pretty good. But anyway, it was a pretty fun show today, TJ. I enjoyed the new segment. Hopefully the fans did too. And just thanks for everything. And we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys.